is we only have this exam and then one more.
Should have gotten off the boat.
Should have stayed. Blended right in.
Stayed with
Is Malvern coming, or should we just?
Well, I just had to set up the started recording. I can send the link. Okay, should we start on it?
Heck yeah, we should.
Okay, I made a little thing
Made a thing.
that's like a table, and it has all the tests on one side.
Oh.
And
do that
but we
to
should.
this o'clock.
I don't know. I just think as we go along, we fill out like when to use it and stuff, and then because I think it's like it'd be a good study tool anyway.
But you don't think you can use it on the test?
Well, I'm sure we can use it on a test as long as you compress it to one page. They usually get a page of notes, right?
That's true, but I don't think Excel counts as one page.
Well, this isn't Excel; it's just a Word document.
Oh, it's a Word
But
document.
it's like basically like it's like which type of test should you
that's
use? Like
the reason I get worse grades on the test.
yeah, so we should just solve that today. Like just get really clear on it and just have it in a nice little table, and then
You
it's
have my
like,
email, right?
yeah, probably. Well, yeah, on Outlook.
Yeah,
I have
if you
everybody's.
want to send it to me, I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
So as we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Final countdown. There's another one hit wonder. I don't know. That's like a fate worse than death. Is like to be able to like climb to the charts and then never be able to figure out why like how you did it.
It's a fluke.
Oh, 45 questions. This is gonna be great.
Oh.
Is there 45? Did you do the prep or the questions before?
I started looking through it.
There's only 30 or 38. Oh.
For each of the next 4 questions, identify the one hypothesis test that is most appropriate for the given situation.
Which is exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, so the one hypothesis test. So is there only 2 one hypothesis tests? The one sample Z test, the one sample T test?
I don't think so. Okay.
Because there's the paired sample, there's the independent sample, there's the ANOVA test of one.
I'm pretty sure there's a hypothesis test for every single one.
Wouldn't it always be a one hypothesis test? It's hypotheses. I don't know.
That's true, but
Article, the Journal of Small Business Management, the special start business in the United States and Korea were compared.
educational level. So it would be paired. Wait, no, maybe it would. United States.
Well, knowing a startup person in the United States doesn't necessarily determine which.
So it'll be independent. So one thing that I learned about these quiz, anything quiz is actually it's open. Well, any quiz that you take, well, it's called a quiz, not a test. And so maybe we should go back and check it right.
Because we could start.
Here, I'll go.
Is there a place where it summarizes like the different tests, or is it just all kind of into our head?
That's where it summarizes each one in each chapter. But they're not. There isn't one that where it summarizes all.
One sample Z test, one sample T test, paired sample T test.
I think.
One sample Z chapters, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder where it starts describing it. Omar from the math department.
I only listened to that one time, the first chapter, and then I never
So it starts talking about Z-scores in lesson 5. Any of these we can get off right off the bat. Like,
that we,
maybe I'll just share this thing right now.
yeah, just make it.
We could all just kind of research another part of
Is
it.
it on Google?
Yeah. So what's your Gmail?
Kendall, KENDJAY.
Boyer at gmail.com.
Yeah,
Yours is Seth.
BOYER.
Mads. Mads?
Yeah. That's my middle name.
Seth Mads. And it suggested Malvin Cedrus.
Because I have one that I wrote in my book, but it's at home. The same thing.
Of like this.
Then they give us this one.
Yeah, there was one kind of chart that they showed once. Like they gave us this big thing.
Yeah, that's the one that I have in my book.
Mine's so blurry. That's quantitative. One sample.
Where'd you be able to download it?
I screenshotted it,
Oh, you did?
which is probably why it's so like. But so one sample, you have known and unknown. You have one sample Z test and one sample. Use it with one sample. If the mu is known, then you do the Z test. If the mu is unknown, you use the T test.
Yeah, MBU is me, right?
Yeah, so you use Z test when, or is it when the standard deviation's unknown? I can't tell what that is.
Yeah.
It's a mu.
Yeah, it's the standard deviation.
Well, mu is the mean, and then that's weird squiggle is the standard deviation.
Yeah. Okay, and it is known, and what you only have one sample, which makes
So wait, mu is standard deviation?
Yeah. I think.
I'm making it
believe. Help on my. So 2 samples. You have dependent samples and independent samples. So if then they're the same dependent samples.
Yeah.
And then ANOVA is when you have 3 samples.
It's more
Which is
than
for
2.
categorical, yeah.
No, ANOVA is still quantitative.
Is it?
Yeah, according to this thing. ANOVA as well. Whereas categorical is 1 proportion. So maybe we should add that into there. These are all quantitative. So this should really help, actually. Okay, test of 1 proportion is when it's category 1 to 1 proportion. So when we're talking about samples, like when do you have 2 samples? Like
2
you're
samples.
comparing 2 different, like kind of what we're doing
2
with
groups.
what we're doing with South
Yeah,
Africa
yeah.
and here.
So, for example, in this question, it says you're comparing 40 years old or younger and over 40 years old. So that would be 2 samples. Because you're going to take a sample from each.
1 sample. So this is just 2 samples. And then chi squared is
That's
row and column. The chi table is, right?
She is. It has to do with proportions, right?
But the chi table is the same thing. It's a row and column thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's just, whoa.
Just trying to help.
Thank you. So this is where you're doing testable variables. Okay, cool.
So with this one then, so we're comparing the level of education.
So
Yeah.
we have the US and Korea. So it can't be any of the 1 sampled ones. They're not paired because you can't determine the one from the other.
And it's not
So-
a proportion.
Is it not categorical? Because it's not quantitative.
Yeah, it's categorical.
So
It doesn't have numbers.
So it has to be tested 2 proportions, right? Because you're taking a proportion, or it's because it's categorical.
Oh, you're right.
Because you're testing education level, and then why would it not be a chi square table?
Because
Is
that one is
just
that
more
one's
than 2?
quantitative. Because that one you enter.
Well, chi square is still categorical.
What about all those random numbers being input?
Well, like you can use numbers, but it's just like you have each column that's like a different thing, and so you're just taking a tally. If it was quantitative, you'd use a ANOVA test because that's more of quantitative data as seen in this. It's categorical, and this actually really helps.
So yeah, I think it would be right. If discussed that, I definitely would have put independent. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not quantitative, so it can't be independent.
So we're going with 2 proportions.
I would
Yeah.
think so because okay, so it's categorical, right? So these are your options. It's not a row and column table because it doesn't have
Yeah.
more, and then it can't be a
It
1
can't be
sample
one
one sample, which is the 2 proportion one.
Okay.
Would be my thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna do that though.
Could bump
That
all
little
of our
thing is
grades
the
up by
key.
10%.
and over 40-year-olds. Therefore, the number of employees in each group who were terminated. You want equally. Which hypothesis test is appropriate for this
It's
analysis?
still categorical, right? Because it's who were terminated,
Like,
who got fired.
yeah, because it's not like
No, we're not comparing numbers.
or
I think it's just because.
but it's either you're in one group or the other. You're in one category or the other
And
category.
then the numbers come from those groups.
Yeah.
But were they?
I think portion is you want to take the portion of people
That
that
are
were
40.
fired compared to non-fired in each group and compare. So would it be the exact same thing?
But it just seems weird for them to do 2 in a row. With.
Because that's what I put on the. I mean, that's what I got.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
me
what
too.
it is.
Okay.
Hashtag me too.
Well, we can try it.
Why don't we just do it to the best of our ability, and then we can always go back through and figure out why we get it wrong,
Yeah, that's true.
instead of taking forever to
Take forever.
then not be right.
We will. Most of the time, we get 100% or
Let's
close.
solve this algebraically.
That's my favorite algebra.
Okay, so we conducted by a group of and of these were male. You want to determine if it's quantitative.
Well, it's still proportional, isn't it? Like you're trying to determine if the proportion of male heavy lots in the population, which is 45%, which
But
makes
it's
sense.
Quantitative, right?
Well, I think it's compared then it'd be categorical, which makes sense because unit 3, like the majority of these are going to be a proportional
with a
test because
few
that's what we're
from-
focusing on this.
Okay.
But
So,
they literally use the word proportion, like
good.
different than the proportion of male in the populations.
I'm so confused. Is it literally?
A total of 248 were classified as heavy players. No, but you only have one sample.
Oh, that's right. So it will be,
So it'd be a test of one proportion, I would think.
wait, but there's two portions.
Well, you're taking it out of. So it's like, but it's
So it said one
categorical.
proportion. It really means one sample.
Well, it's like we only have one option.
Oh yeah, it's direct.
If it comes from one sample, then you can only do one
One
proportion
test
if it's
of it.
categorical.
Two different ones, turn complex with- Study each student is given one information from students one. That's the blocks. Then I check the open and check or check this. That'd be quantitative, right?
Let's see.
Definitely one. Sample two.
We had 2 different lock combination locks. One of the locks turns clockwise first, and the other lock turn counterclockwise. Yeah, S25 participate in the study. Each student was given the combination each lock they were asked to open the locks.
So I think it'd be one sample. C or T. Oh, yeah. Is that
The time it took to open each lock was recorded. So this is quantitative because it's like the time. And then
and it's definitely one sample because they took just 25 students. They didn't take two groups.
so they
of 25.
sampled 25 students. So if it's quantitative, is the mean known or unknown? Like the standard deviation, is it known or unknown?
They don't tell us the deviation.
That's what they're looking for. Let's see. The time it took that it to open each lock. So they're comparing two different times, and then they're comparing them against each other to figure out
averages, right?
to figure out if there's a difference, which is the deviation, right?
Yeah.
It's like the standard deviation is unknown in this case because that's what they're trying to determine.
Yeah, because usually if it's known, they give it to you.
So this would be a one sample unknown t-test.
Okay, and what? Tell me again. That's the only difference between a z and a t is known and unknown.
Yeah, z is known, t is unknown.
Gotta know that zebra.
Yeah.
Zebra. The known zebra.
Yeah, but no.
Unknown tigress.
What is that animal? Oh, it's a liger.
I like it.
That's not gonna help you remember T though.
Actually,
Tigress. Who's ever seen a tigress?
unknown tigress, known zebra.
Yeah, you always know the zebra.
Yeah.
You can always.
The opposites. All right, let's.
Next sequence. Well, the confidence interval is different though.
Oh. But no, not really, because
One sample
one
Z.
sample Z hypothesis test, and they do a paired sample T confidence interval.
And you know.
They're all paired. You know?
Yeah,
Feel me?
I do.
So it's trying to confuse us, but honestly, it's basically just.
To keep this live broadcast going because it does not appear that he's going to show up.
A bank employs two appraisers when approving borrowers' mortgages.
Bank evaluates 6 prophecies.
Make sure this is
That both appraisers had recent value.
would be most appropriate for this study. Independent.
The six properties that are both appraised, or both appraisers had recently valued. Which confidence interval would be most?
It might be paired because they're in the same area.
So they both appraised 6 different. Is this quantitative or categorical? It's quantitative because an appraisal is like the actual like money amount that you're gonna spend.
Yes.
Is it one? Is it once?
I mean, I get it in theory, but then when you look at a problem, I still have a hard time figuring out.
I thought I understood it, but now like.
Yeah.
Well, this should be quantitative though, I think, because it's like you're trying to figure out like the numerical like average amount of like stuff.
That's true. Okay.
So it's quantitative. It's only one sample because you're taking 6 properties in one town, as opposed to like taking one in LA and one in.
So each one has 6.
But those aren't each a sample.
Are they not?
Because you're just trying to represent the population.
Population is what we're worried about when we talk about if it's 1 or 2.
Yeah, because it's like 6 properties inside of a city, and so it's population. The 6 properties is the sample.
So
I would think.
Yeah, it couldn't be paired or independent because it's not categorical, right?
If it's got one sample, is the standard deviation known or unknown?
It's
Sigma.
unknown, yeah.
So it's unknown. So that'd be one.
Yes, known zebra, unknown tigress.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
One sample. Or the one thing the guy says in the rap video that we have to make.
Something about girls.
Yeah. Something about females are nice or something.
Oh, females are higher, and that's nice. Or something.
Oh yeah.
females. Oh, okay.
The Wall Street Journal. Satisfied.
The percentage of satisfied with the career path. So this is categorical.
But is it with
Yeah,
the
it's just proportions.
the proportion of, basically? You're right. Same data was also reported for accounting majors. So these are two different. You have accounting majors and you have this.
But if they're at the same
You decide a 5% confidence interval. Okay, so you have two samples. You only have one option. It's two proportions, unless it's one sample, and then it's one proportion. But it's not going to be your row and column thing. Row and column thing is like only when you have like three or more.
You
Or
have
is
to
it?
have.
Oh, it's definitely two proportions.
Yeah,
There's literally two proportions.
yeah. So I mean, that's
I feel like deep in my bones, guys.
you got this feeling. Feels electric or something.
So maybe it will.
Double stuff. Isn't it weird that they spell double stuff with only one F?
Double stuff.
Shouldn't it have four?
We pronounce double stuff.
Double stuff.
Oreo.
So 55, that's one sample.
But they're measuring the amount of fill that would quantitative.
Yeah, quantitative. Quantitative, one sample.
You need to construct a code that's really estimated. True mean filling. It's one known.
Yeah,
So that is again
one sample.
T test. T's and tigers.
Types.
I'm gonna
Okay, we're finally out.
recording. No point of this.
I thought we didn't have to do